In southeast Louisiana, spending time on the water is a way of life, but sometimes it can have devastating consequences.
Yeah, that's where an elite team of first responders comes into play with a set of skills that brings the depths of our region's bayous, lakes, and rivers to light.
And Rob Kreiger got an opportunity to train with them and takes us inside one of their operations that changed the life of one family forever.
I don't know if there's one person or more. And in the car, they just gunned it.
Make it tight. Got one up. If there's a seatbelt, cut it. Keep the head out of the water. Extraction team, where's the team? Here, disconnect the line and go under it because he's going to be on that side now.
All clear, 4 minutes. Index, index, index. All call signs, index.
Through the murky water of Lake Pontchartrain, the Southeast Louisiana Underwater Search and Recovery Program prepares first responders across the region for the worst-case scenarios.
They've done that, not just like a scenario where you play something. They're actually doing it. They're actually breathing on scuba and learning to do these things.
Mark Michaud, the founder of the specialized dive team, knows, though, it's not enough to have the skills to dive. It's learning the patience it takes to breathe in a dark descent.
We're going to put you in here and do exactly what you would be doing. We'll hit some of these dirty bayous. We'll hit Bonneville Boat Launch, West End, places like that to where you can't see much.
An environment that can often be unforgiving with unknown depths and dangers.
Given the storms that we've had in recent years here on the Gulf Coast from Louisiana to Alabama, it's not uncommon for us to encounter a whole pier underwater, a whole roof from a house underwater.
Joshua Gibbs, a sergeant with the Mobile Police Department, is the captain of a similar search and rescue program in Daphne, Alabama. Often, he's teaming up with Michaud to assist with an operation or run training exercises with real-life scenarios and skills, training that could help when unique problems happen below surface.
We can't show them everything they might see. So what we focus on is giving them the skill sets and the mindsets to be able to problem solve through anything that they might encounter.
Skills that are beyond recreational diving, equipment to where we make sure that our responders come home safely.
They've gone over what to do if a diver goes unconscious in the water, making a rescue of a teammate to remove him from the water.
And through most of that training, the biggest skill they learn may be the most eye-opening. Most of this training is blind.
We're covering their masks and we're putting it on there to where they have to do everything by feel with a line to go along there.
If you've never experienced anything like that, you panic or run low on gas and then you have a true emergency.
So with a cover over their masks, they dive through tunnels, around ropes, between floating tarps, all obstacles designed to simulate potential perils underwater. Through it all, they use a guide rope to make their way through as they encounter the next hurdle.
As long as they can stop, breathe, think about the problem, act through it, then they should be able to solve anything that occurs underwater.
That diver you see there, that's me. The team was gracious enough to let me join in this training, an underwater course set up at Southern University New Orleans indoor pool, making my way through the tunnels and tires without a cover on my mask. But for the final skills test, a puzzle of shackles with various sizes and pins, the divers must arrange them from largest to smallest. They do it blind, so I decided to try it with the cover too.
It's an opportunity for them, while blacked out, to practice their dexterity, to practice their ability to be able to visualize something that they can feel but can't see.
A pretty difficult task underwater alone, with only your sense of touch, even harder.
That was pretty good, reporter. So you were impressing the guys. They were impressed, man.
It can't be undersold, though, how impressive this elite team of divers truly is, diligently practicing those skills so when they get the call, they can do what many others can hardly fathom.
For body recoveries, evidence recoveries, we're actually doing what we're training for, and it's been really good because nobody has enough. We bring a lot of people home and make that happen where we've got just an immense amount of water in different waters.
In fact, Michaud's search and recovery team has been on the forefront of several high-profile searches, scouring the area's most dangerous waters in an attempt to bring peace to grieving families.
First part of June, we had a man that drowned in Lake des Allemands, and we came out there. I worked with St. John and Wildlife and Fisheries, and we were able to locate and recover that man and bring him home. We worked the Mississippi River search for the 3 kids that were in there. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. In this case, 2 of them were recovered.
Sometimes their work takes them deeper than normal.
Water is a beast. It can take you very fast, and that's exactly what happened.
Janelle Siebert's husband, RJ, was larger than life. An avid sportsman, he lived life fast and was always eager for adventure.
Everybody knew RJ. RJ was huge into hunting, huge into the kids, getting them involved in anything and everything outdoors.
His passion, though, scuba and fishing.
It was like 2 in 1 for him. You know, you're fishing, but you're also hunting. You have to stalk these fish underwater, and it was just a challenge to him. It was something different, and he wanted to do it every single weekend.
It was June 27th, 2020, when RJ and his brother and a few friends went diving near a rig in the Gulf. Toward the end of their dive, RJ nabbed a drum and a snapper, then headed for the surface.
They were about 50 feet. What I'm told is that they saw RJ. RJ was coming up with his fish. By the time they got onto the boat and got their tanks off and got onto the boat, they looked down and RJ wasn't there.
His brother immediately dove back down, determined to find RJ.
And he went straight down. And he searched, but about 3 to 4 feet from the bottom, it's very murky. And he knew he was running out of air, so he came back up. But, you know, his love for his brother brought him back down again. And he did that several times. And then when he came back up, they grabbed him and told him that he cannot do that again.
Heartbroken and with the Coast Guard actively searching, the fishermen made their way back home to St. Bernard and called Janelle.
I knew something was wrong by the phone call, but I had my daughter next to me, so I had to keep my composure. And when I walked in and I saw the pure devastation in his brother, I knew that he wasn't coming home.
Her husband's body at the bottom of the Gulf, Janelle was certain she'd never truly get to say goodbye.
Since we're surrounded by water so much, how many people lose a loved one and they never get to get them back home and carry out their final wishes. You never get to bury them. There's no closure. And it was our biggest fear.
But seemingly out of nowhere, Mark Michaud and his team got right to work.
We're in international waters and nobody but the FBI had jurisdiction. We brought in special divers. The guy that's teaching this class right now, Josh Gibbs, was also there with us.
It was about 225 feet down, somewhere around there. And they were able to capture images with the sonar that was amazing because you could see a lot. You could definitely tell that that was RJ.
It was a shred of hope in a world of pain that kept Janelle going, just a chance that her husband would not be forever lost.
Using a specific kind of sonar really helped us to be able to key in and guide the diver to it and get him there.
And within days, RJ was on his way back home to St. Bernard.
To never have him back home again would have been just so devastating that I believe that Mark and his team, they helped us start the healing process when they called and said, we have found him and we're going to recover his body, he's coming home.
Just them knowing that they have their loved one home is so important. When we don't know where somebody is, that's a hole it never covers up, and it's a terrible thing.
It's why Michaud is determined to continue to pass along the knowledge of these dark descents, so when tragedy occurs beneath, there can be some peace up above.
They suited up and like heroes. And they went down and they got him, and they brought him home to us.
That was Rob Kreiger reporting. RJ's brother Lance had to receive hyperbaric chamber therapy after his multiple dives searching for his brother. He recovered well. As for the dive team, they continue their work training monthly with local law enforcement teams around the region and responding to calls whenever they are needed.